This job, we try to save as many people as we can.
New York. Sokovia.
Okay, that's enough.
We need to be put in check.
If I see a situation pointed south, I can't ignore it. Sometimes I wish I could.
Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Tony.
You just started a war. Stay down. Final warning.
I could do this all day.
All right, I've run out of patience. On to Ruse!
Hey everyone.
How's it going, guys? This is Worse. We're going to be reviewing Captain America Civil War.
Finally.
And yeah, I can't wait to talk about this movie. I don't think anyone can.
Oh yeah,
So,
I'm trying to talk about this movie. We're going to go into non-spoilers, a non-spoilers review, and then about halfway through this video, we will warn you, keep in mind, we will warn you when we're going to go into spoilers. These guys saw it before me, and the night that they did, Ryan told me, like, almost every frame is technically a spoiler. It would be so hard to talk about. It would be so hard to talk about everything with this movie, but I'm sure there's plenty of stuff we can go into, non-spoiler related, like characters, casting, things that people know that are in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen any of the trailers, you know at least the general synopsis of this, so I mean...
So like I said, here in a little bit, we'll tell you when we're about to spoil it. But for now, enjoy our non-spoilers review. Guys, casting. I think this is brilliantly casted with all the new additions. You got, Tom Holland as Spider-Man. That's not a spoiler. The Black Panther. Really amazing. Man, just so much good stuff.
There's not really much to talk about in the way of casting because it's mostly everyone returning.
Well, yeah, but there's still some new members.
Yeah, the new guys. I mean, Spider-Man. Holland plays fantastic Spider-Man. I mean,
And Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yes, Peter Parker. Yes. Brilliant.
Yes.
And as a Spidey fan myself, I really, really enjoyed his part. I was a little like, I don't know. For me personally, the chick that plays Aunt May, I'm sorry, it's a miscast. I don't get it. I don't understand like why. I know that she's actually like in her 40s or 50s.
She's
or so.
in her 50s. It's actually they pulled that from the Ultimate Spider-Man, and of course it's still off even in that one, because in that one she still has gray hair, but she's younger than the normal Aunt May. But they pulled that from the Ultimate Spider-Man, and plus in the original series he's about 16 or 17, but in this one he's like a 15-year-old kid, so like that's from Ultimate Spider-Man as well. He's a lot younger,
which makes sense because he can grow with the character, grow with the sequels. It'll be really good because there's a lot of Spider-Man to come, so we'll get plenty of that. But that's my main negative about Civil War is when they casted Aunt May. When I look at her, when he says May or whatever, I'm like, wait, no, that's his mom, right? It's like, no, because we all know that his parents aren't around, so that's the main thing that I had an issue with.
Then again, my aunt's the same age as my mom.
And I looked over at Ryan. I looked over at Ryan when we were watching it. I said, "Whoa, dude, Aunt May's hot."
Yeah, and it's funny that they actually like make a joke about that. It's like Stark or whatever. It's just like so, But everything casting wise, it's really well done. But guys, there's just so much. Look at
we missed a character. I mean, Ant-Man. I mean, I don't know if the guy's name. I mean, he was awesome, and I loved all of that. I mean, the cast. I mean, in general. I mean, they like all the new additions, even though they don't have their own movies, because a lot of these characters have had movies or have been in Avengers movies to set them up. But I mean, the characters that don't have movies yet, that will have movies in the next year or so, next year, 2 years, they fit in well. I mean, the Russo brothers did a good
Yeah.
job of that. They fit in. I mean, T'Challa. I mean, the Black Panther. I mean, I was like, how is he going to come into? Before I saw the film, I was thinking, how is he going to come into this? And
They
I don't
did
really.
that part perfectly.
Yeah, I don't really know much about Black Panther as far as the character. I mean, that's a character I'm gonna have to do some more research on. But I do know that he's a big part of the Avengers. He's a real big part of it. I would like to read more on him and just research him and see what he's all about. But he's a really cool character. I mean, like I said, Steve Rogers, Captain America. I mean, he's back in full force, and I mean, just the whole cast are all around. They all get equal screen time. That's one thing I was really worried about going into this.
And you get to see all these heroes really shine. Like, I mean, a lot of the combat and everything was really, really well done. It was like what I told Ryan is Winter Soldier's combat times 10. It's just like all these like the stunts and everything they're doing. It looks amazing. You feel those hits when people are getting hit. It looks brutal.
Or those of you that don't, know much about the comic of Civil War, like I said, in this thing, the government basically gets fed up with the Avengers. Basically, yeah, you're saving us, but you're also causing a lot of damage, collateral problems, and you're killing people because of all this stuff. And which honestly I disagree with, because without them, the world would probably be a smoldering pile of ash without these guys. I mean, yeah, they cause destruction, but I mean, they cause a little bit compared to what could have happened.
And you really feel like you can relate to both sides. I mean, like, I see like why the general guys like having these like discussion with them, and then I could see, and you really feel their like Scarlet Witch, like you even see in the trailer, like she like looks away from the screen, and it's like Cap's like, okay, that's enough, like stop talking about this, because she knows that she's totally kind of a loose cannon, like she causes all this destruction, and that and all she wants to do is save people, but she's also very tormented by everyone that she's hurt.
They show both sides of the argument really well. I mean, now one side isn't just clear cut bad guy, clear cut good guy. I mean, even though I agree with Captain America, but I mean you see both points, and they don't just. One thing I was also kind of curious what they were going to do is, are they going to just, I disagree with you, okay, we're going to fight each other? No, they go in depth about it, and they try to they try to plead with each other, really. I mean, both sides really try to beg each other to see their points, and they don't just smack into each other.
Yeah, there was a lot more screen time than I thought there was going to be of Steve Rogers and Tony in the same room trying to talk it out. I mean, like, Tony, like I said, no spoilers, but I mean, you really get the feel that he's trying to, talk him to his side. And Steve Rogers is just one of those people, like, once he sets his mind to something, he doesn't budge. So it's just one of those things. But you also see his point, you see his reasoning of why, like, so Russo brothers, you guys, this was good. Like, this was really, really good, the way you built this up. There's things that are in spoiler territory that I won't go into yet.
They don't really bring up the whole, in the comic, they bring up, everybody having to know your secret identities and stuff. And that's really Captain America's point. That's really his driving force in the comic, was that, I mean, if they know all their secret identities, all the villains will come after them and kill their families and kill the people they know. But in the film, it's not really explored that much, because everybody knows
version of Civil War.
Yeah, because everybody knows who the characters are. So I mean, to me, that was the main reason for agreeing with Captain America. But I still agree with him, because I mean, it's I mean, he brings up the point. What if they send us somewhere where we're not needed, or if they don't let us go somewhere where we truly are needed and we can't do nothing about it? I mean, that's still a really good point.
A lot of people aren't necessarily putting it above like Avengers or films like that. I think that it's pretty much even with the first Avengers, like so evenly balanced. It's like and when I saw it, I'm like, that's true. Was I sort of overwhelmed by a lot of things? Yes, that's why I probably have to see it again to really process things, because I just, like, there's so much of it going on. Like, there's like little things I don't remember because I'm paying attention to other things, and then it's just like my brain, it's like probably the most compacted movie. I mean, Batman v Superman had a lot going for it, and opinions on Batman v Superman or not is irrelevant, but I enjoyed that thoroughly because I went in with low expectations. This movie, I went in just so hyped and allowed myself to get really overhyped to where little things that people said were going to be like the best thing ever were not for me, including the airport scene. It wasn't like this. It was really good and really cool, but when I actually saw it, I was like, what is it? Because people are labeling this as like the #1 fight scene in any movie ever, and I'm just like, come on. It's like, so just don't go in overhyping yourself. I learned my lesson this time. I told myself from now on with movies I'll go in with low expectations, and I totally forgot about that rule because I was trusting in Marvel, even though I will say that for me, this movie, until I see it again and really give it an extra little push, I would give Civil War a 9 out of 10. It's really well done. I don't really have very many problems with it, and I enjoyed it a lot. I think the casting, combat, the story, it's Marvel goodness. It's what this is. Russo brothers have done it, and I'm excited to see what they do with Infinity War, because I cannot wait to see, because they haven't got to do an Avengers movie yet, so this will be what they get to do. So
basically for me, I mean, Russo brothers, I think they did everything. They hit everything. They hit all the right notes. Like for me, I mean, especially through this, how I see it, I mean, if you were to compare it to Avengers, I'm not going to put it above Avengers, but I also don't want to put it below. I'd almost like to say this is kind of Avengers opposite. Like it's kind of the opposite of Avengers, all in the right ways and in the right areas.
It's almost like the flip side of it.
Exactly. Like I loved this movie, like in Avengers, as you guys have seen, it is one of my top 15 favorite movies of all time. It's in there. I mean, would I put this movie potentially in that list? I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll grow on me even more. But I mean, I right after I told this guy my first opinions on it, I was making it sound like way more than it was, and I really,
it wasn't his fault. I was already hyped.
Like,
I was already so hyped.
No, yeah, but I loved it so much because Russo brothers, like group interaction. That's my key. That is my thing with the movie, and this movie is just a throne, like almost a throne of character interaction, and it's so good. It's just simply so good.
It's definitely one of the best Marvel films.
I'd feel like giving it, and I'm not giving it this, but I feel like an 8 out of 10 is so low. Like it's like if I were to give it anything,
even my 9 feels low. I mean, it really feels low. Like I want to.
But for me, it does kind of fall so short of a 10. So I'll just give it a 9.
This coming from a true Marvel reader that actually like reads these characters and studies these characters, I was completely blown away by this film. Not just the combat, not just the action or anything. I mean, just the thing that draws you in about it really is, I mean, when the conflict actually starts, not just the physical conflict, but the conflict between the two sides, it's sad because a lot of them really are their family. I mean, Tony and Cap, even though at first they don't really like each other, they've saved the world twice. So I mean, it's a real gut punch when neither of them are forcing to move or whatever. So I mean, really, it's sad. And
I mean, not to interrupt, but kind of like with Winter Soldier, that's not an upbeat movie. Like this is not an upbeat.
Yeah, it has
movie.
its dark tone.
It gets you pretty hard.
But yeah, I mean, he was saying that the airport scene just didn't do it for him. But my personal opinion, it's a comic book come to life.
Yeah,
it's
for the fans.
That shot you see in the trailer where they're running at each other. That's something that I've wanted to see since I was a kid. I mean, getting to see, and they didn't shoot it like in a sloppy way. Like that's one thing I was really impressed with, was that usually when there's a lot of characters on screen, they usually let 2 or 3 of them get lost in the shuffle, and then you don't really see what they're doing until the fight's over and done with. But in this one, they cut back and forth really well, and that was one thing I was really impressed with. So I mean, the action for me, I'll go ahead and say it. Like, I mean, this action scene, getting to see Spider-Man and Ant-Man and Black Widow and Hawkeye and Iron Man and Captain America, I mean, that was great. I was like grinning from ear to ear. It was like reading a comic book. I mean, it was like flipping back and forth between panels. I mean, I loved it.
This action scene, I mean, you were like, hey, people are saying this is one of the best action scenes ever. This is definitely one of my favorite scenes, if not my favorite scene of a Marvel film.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
not,
really easy
and I'm not
to
diminishing.
say.
I'm not saying like that people shouldn't think of it like that.
That's
If you
easy
enjoy
for me
it,
to
if
say.
you enjoy it, if you enjoy that scene, enjoy it. I just simply I've saw them charge each other so many times in the trailers and everything I had heard is like put a giant golden star on that scene, and then I watched it and I'm just like. It just, to me, personally, felt like something was missing from it. I didn't know what it was, but I guess it was just, I don't know. But like I said, another viewing, and I may seriously just be like, holy crap, what was I talking about, guys? This is freaking amazing. Because I really, I love that scene. I'm not saying I don't. I love that scene.
It depends on also how big of a comic book fan you are. I mean, because like I said, I was just giddy when they revealed Spider-Man. I mean, because I mean, I've wanted to see Spider-Man in the Avengers for at least 4 or 5 years now. And finally getting to see that and see Spider-Man done right was, oh god. I mean, it was great. I loved it. So, I mean, for my rating of this movie, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I give it a 10 out of 10 all the way across.
Alright guys, that wraps up our non-spoilers part of the Captain America Civil War review. Definitely go check it out if you haven't yet. Let us know in the comments what you think about this movie if you have seen it. But as for right now, we are going to go into spoilers. Ooh.
Lots to talk about.
I could say it now. Winter Soldier is the one that kills Tony's parents. I just let that loose on you guys. So if you stuck around too long, you just got yourself spoiled. Hopefully you didn't. But anyway, I'll just say this. That was probably the key plot point that I thought made this movie fantastic. I saw it coming though. Whenever he destroyed the car at the beginning, I was telling Ashley, I think he just killed Howard Stark. I think it tied Iron Man 1 and everything all together all of a sudden. I didn't know what happened to his parents or anything until that. And I thought that was really, really, really brilliant. Because he's been around for however long. And he was brainwashed over and over. He was the one that watched the Stark Expo and first Captain America with Steve.
Yeah.
And so, he got turned into this pretty much super soldier, and I love the story of Winter Soldier, and I've grown to like him as a character more and more as the more he's kind of bouncing back, waking up, and all this stuff. And let's talk about the villain, by the way, that villain, that one guy that's in other movies that I can't actually name because I've seen him everywhere.
Yeah.
But some people say that he kind of fell short as a villain, but I thought he was perfectly placed in this movie. I don't even really think of him, this is the villain of the movie. It's a civil war. It's heroes versus heroes. I don't think of him as the villain of this movie. He is, whatever, but he interrogated that Hydra guy or whatever, and then, he's out to just pretty much... I guess he was the reason for all them to...
That was his whole motivation was... he actually, in Age of Ultron, they don't really show him, at least far as I know, but he says that his child and his family was watching the Avengers fight in Sokovia at the beginning of Age of Ultron, and a building falls and basically kills his family, and he's like, well, I had to wait 2 days, and I finally dug the bodies out, and he's like, I couldn't fight them physically, but what if I could get them to destroy each other?
So that's relatable. He's like, my daughter was watching Iron Man outside the window or whatever, and it's just so heavy. It's you get all this comic book goodness with Ultron, it's this robot villain or whatever, and then it's but there's consequences to all this. There's consequences to even saving people, so you understand those sides. So I just thought, personally, I don't know about you guys can tell me your opinion, but the whole plot point with Winter Soldier being the one that kills Tony's parents was amazing.
See, this is something, and both of you, you kind of knew before it happened, you kind of, alerted me to it. I was just
comic book knowledge.
Yeah, but me, it's just one of those things where I had no idea at all. I was just what?
I was kind of passing him information every time I'd see something, oh, dude.
But either way, I love the plot point. It makes it just that much darker. It adds a lot to this. This story gets something added, then it's added, then
it builds and builds
yeah,
and builds.
Tony had
It's
already
amazing.
had his fight. He had a argument with Steve a couple times in the movie. He had a physical fight, and then he comes back. He opens that shaft door, and they're willing to be friends. They're willing to be friends with them. I love that line. He's just like, good to see you, Tony. Good to see you too, Cap. You know? And I was just like, okay, so maybe they're teaming up. And then I was like, wait a second. And then, he finds out, and he's like watching his parents die on this like recording or whatever. And I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Look away from that. Look away. You're just going to get angry. And then that's one of those movies where you feel anger or some sort of emotion in a character, and I felt Tony's anger when he was watching that, because it was like very, very brutal, and I was like, okay, here comes the backhand on Cap, and I was just like, okay, they're fighting again, so this is cool. Sad but cool.
That's honestly what I got from it. I mean, honestly, I didn't know who to root for, because even though I still think Tony Stark is kind of a douche. I felt really bad for them both. I mean, because when they're both fighting, I mean, they're both like all three of them are fighting hard. I mean, they're like, I mean, he's aiming to kill Bucky. So I mean, like Cap's having to, he's telling him not to, and he's basically saying, he didn't mean to. He was being controlled and stuff, and then eventually he has to put all that aside, and they're kicking the shit out of each other. It really is cool. I mean, it was awesome watching him and Bucky flip the shield back and forth and bounce it off each other, and that was awesome. I loved that. That was great.
Don't forget that beam against the shield.
And blocking
cool.
blocking it, and that was awesome.
Russo brothers, you're amazing. You add some slow mo to the fights. That is very cool.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
Very cool.
But I mean, overall, the ending of the movie, I felt it was a really good punch. I mean, and honestly, I was expecting Bucky to die, or one of them to die, but I mean, no, I don't want him to, but at the same time I was still expecting it. But overall, I loved that ending.
I didn't know for sure what was happening when he put the shield in the chest. I was thinking, wait a second, Tony's not gonna die, is he? Or whatever, and I was really thinking but then they kind of cut to like him helping Rhodey and all that, and I was like, okay. And War Machine doesn't die, so he just is he's kind of crippled for a little bit now.
He's paralyzed.
So I don't know, man. I think he may retire as War Machine now. So
well, he actually gets at the end of the movie. He gives him those brace things.
Yeah.
He's like, no, don't help me, and he's helping him get up.
Yeah.
So I mean,
which, by the way, in that part, my opinion, that is the best Stan Lee cameo in a Marvel movie yet.
Yeah.
People say Deadpool is, but no, I think this one, Tony Stank, that killed me. That absolutely killed me. That is a little over Amazing Spider-Man 1, and with him being a librarian. That is actually a little over. That one won me. I've been waiting on something to beat that, and that was it. That was amazing.
Like, I get what you're saying. I mean, it was still funny, but I don't know, Deadpool, like,
Him
seeing him in a strip club,
yeah.
seeing him in a strip club, because you would never think to see Stan the Man in...
It's funny, because in real life, they had to kick him out. Because he kind of wanted to stick around, and he was just like, well, you gotta go, man.
Well, that was hilarious. I loved that.
I loved that whole, yes. And there's so many Facebook memes about Stank now, like, it's on the Avengers Tower and all this stuff. Like, it's like,
Stank.
okay. But anyway, that was my favorite cameo. But
Talk about Black Panther?
yes, let's do it. I love the suit, by the way. It
Oh,
looks
yeah,
amazing.
the vibranium suit. Yeah, I mean, his whole method, that was one thing I couldn't really touch on. The other reviewer in the non-spoiler is how he gets worked into the plot. He's seeking revenge. Winter Soldier gets controlled again, and basically blows up the signing ceremony, because the king of Wakanda, Wakanda, is like the one that's issuing this bill for them to be controlled by the government, and basically just out of nowhere, I jumped. I wasn't expecting, just boom, and just blows up everything, and basically T'Challa survives and is holding his dad in his arms, and he basically gets killed. Which is
really cool, because like I knew from the comics that he was a king where he comes from and everything, so they actually were able to slip into the movie, like he becomes king in Civil War.
He is out for blood, and that's awesome. He's like a jungle cat. That's cool. I really liked that. I mean, he's a really cool character.
And plenty of screen time.
Yeah.
From the trailers, it makes it look like, Panther will be in the suit a lot, but there's a lot of outside of the suit and getting his acting skills.
And I love how they introduce him too, because like when you see all the other Avengers, like when Tony's outside of his suit and what's her name, the blonde-haired girl, and Black Widow are all fighting it. All of them are fighting Winter Soldier. He's kicking their ass. Like, I mean, he is like beating all of them, even Black Widow. And then Black Panther comes into it, and he's just like, "Oh, whoa!"
He gives him
like,
some problems.
He can't fight through him as
even
quickly.
without his suit.
Yeah, even without his suit, he's really good. And then when he gets in the suit, like, I mean, he's scaring him. Like, his eyes are getting big. Like every time his claws get near him, he's like, "Ugh." So I mean, Black Panther was awesome. I loved it.
I love Black Panther so much, but it's like, man, do I love Spider-Man also. Like, I love these new characters.
I love the way they introduced him. I think he had just came home in this movie, right when he comes home and finds Tony sitting with his aunt, which I just thought was hilarious that he thinks she's hot, and they made a joke about it. They made a joke that she's not old and that she's good looking and all this. I don't know, it trips me out. I'm just like, that's his mom, right? Nope, it's his Aunt May. Okay, let's do this. Even though my favorite Aunt May personally was the Raimi film's Aunt May.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, I love the origin of Spider-Man for this.
I mean, he could save me. I was just geeking out. I was like, oh man, Tony Stark's talking to Peter Parker. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah,
I loved that.
And you could tell Peter was not believing it either. He's like, wait, Tony's in my house? What? One major spoiler, Ant-Man becomes Giant Man in this movie.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love the freaking reference he makes to Empire Strikes Back.
Oh yeah, that was
like,
one thing I loved too. Because I mean, he's like, I saw this old movie, like these guys.
He doesn't even know what it's called.
Yeah,
he's just like,
and they're like, how old is this kid? He's in the young range.
A lot of good stuff. Hawkeye, by the way, was great in this. I mean, I love his new suit. I absolutely was like, that looks like more like Hawkeye to me now. You know, and how he talks about I had to pretty much leave my kids at home to come to do this, and he's pissed because he's in prison at the end, and pretty much all of Captain America's team are in prison.
Scarlet Witch, I mean, that's another person we didn't really touch on. Tony, before all this turns out, before all this comes to the conflict, he's trying to basically put everybody in a little box and leave everybody alone. He tries to put Vision and Scarlet Witch basically just in this tiny little box where it looks like they're in a home, but when you get down to it, they're really just in a nice jail cell when you really get down to it. So, I mean...
And you almost get the sense of, the whole Vision and Scarlet Witch possible romance.
Oh, and they will.
They probably will.
Yeah,
I just find it funny that they were on the opposite sides. I find it really funny that for right now, they fought. And, he tried to stop her from leaving, and she did the weird, and he just couldn't do anything, you know? He's it's crazy. He's really powerful, but she could contain him and mess with the gem that makes him so powerful.
Yeah.
So,
and like I said, in the comics, that's a for sure thing. They have children in the comics, so I mean, that's a for sure thing. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing I kind of feel bad about Tony is that Tony, I think really what drives him is the mistake he made in Age of Ultron. Is he knows he messed up. And I mean, they even mentioned at the beginning of the movie, when the movie opens up, when he's giving out those free grants and stuff, he's trying to be all glamorous and cool like he usually is. And then this lady stops him in the hallway as he's leaving and basically says, you feel good about giving out all these grants and stuff? Feels great, don't it? And he's like, well, my son was supposed to get a grant and he died. I mean, and it rocks Tony's world a little bit because after she walks off, he's just I mean, he has this look on his face oh God. I mean.
Yeah, and that was his. That was what he mentioned to the Avengers. He was that's what drove him over the edge. Look, this kid didn't make it, and it's because of us. We need to be put in check. So it's really, really well done. The build-up is amazing. All the characters I think worked evenly. There's a couple little things, like I said, Aunt May's miscast. I don't know. I'll just have to get used to her. When Homecoming comes out, I'm sure she'll have little moments.
But I wanted to talk about the end-credit scenes.
For
the film. I didn't want to forget that. First off, the first one, Winter Soldier basically looks at what he did and basically says, the world's not ready for me yet. The people of Wakanda basically keep him, and basically he says, what if people try to find him? Cap says, what if people try to find him? He's like, out here, I doubt it. And then the final one is getting to see
spider symbol.
Yeah, getting to see Spider-Man's spider symbol. a lot of people didn't know what that signal actually meant, and
For when the Avengers need them.
it's actually no. Well, I mean, I'm sure they will in this film, but from the comic books, what it is that in the '60s when he first started out, he used that to let the bad guys. He would shine that in the window and let the bad guys, he was coming. I think that's really cool. I love that they added that little, nod to the '60s, and when they shut it off, it said "Spider-Man will return." So I love that. That was like, we got you guys. Spider-Man's coming back.
The Russo brothers, they know exactly what they're doing. At first, I mean, I will admit, Winter Soldier, when I first saw it, I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't even a fan, really. I mean, the story itself is.
It was the true switch over to how dark
it was just like I was apprehensive about this movie because of how much I felt that toward Winter Soldier.
I don't want them to go back to the lighter tone.
Well, it's one of those things where Russo. I mean, they're gonna do Infinity War. So
I'm curious on how they handle aliens and Thanos and all that. It's going to be very, very. I'm going to be very.
I mean, we'll see about that, but they knew how to make this movie balanced. They knew what makes a great Marvel movie. Put it all in here and made it, and somehow made it where there wasn't too much going on. There was a lot going on, but it wasn't so.
They organized it.
It was so well organized.
It was the longest Marvel film yet, but I enjoyed every second. I could have watched much more.
This could have easily been something really cluttered,
like Batman v Superman.
Extremely, yeah.
I mean, that's I really think, and I love Batman. I mean, Batman's my favorite character. That's one thing I was telling him when we left the theater. I love Batman, but I mean, when you look at the two movies side by side, this one's a lot more organized, and they had a lot more characters to deal with as well.
Yeah.
They had a lot more characters, and they still pulled it off.
And each character shown, each character did something. No character was pointless.
They mentioned Hulk and Thor.
Yeah.
If
only we had a Bruce Banner right now.
That fight would have been over in 2 minutes. Like I said, I adore this film, and I'm ready for Infinity War.
Definitely going to see it again, though, soon. I feel like I need to process more. There's a lot going on. It's really well balanced, and I remember a lot about the movie, but I think the more I see it, the more I will like it. I'll probably come back. I told Ryan I'd probably come back on this channel for some afterthoughts after seeing it probably again, just to kind of like, if my rating goes up to 10, then like I could say, hey, if it stays the same, then whatever. But I really, really want to check it out again because, this was a really great time. Russo brothers, you've done it. And it's not that many times I want to do that with a Marvel movie. I mean, one time's good and I'm good. So, like, if you feel like you need to see it one or two more times, then that's a really good thing. That's, like, they did good. They made you want more and more and more. So that's what I like about this movie. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps this up.
Thanks so much for watching this really long review.
Epic Captain America Civil War review. With spoilers attached to non-spoilers.
Exactly.
So if you've stuck around this long, hit the like button, subscribe, become our worst friend today. Definitely check out more of our reviews and movie reactions. We do those as well. And let us know in the comments what your opinion, what really matters is what their opinion on this movie is. We want to discuss with you guys. So let us know in the comments what you think of Captain America Civil War. And throw in like a little fun thing. What's your favorite MCU movie? I'm curious though. What like?
Come on, guys.
Let us know. Let us know what's your favorite MCU movie. And thank you so much for watching. You'll be seeing us in the next one.
Thanks, guys.